Hello everybody, welcome back. We'll have a quick look at Bitcoin. I'm going to focus on STMX. So Bitcoin in a nutshell, the battle's been taking place here on the 4-hourly. So the 4-hourly's been looking like it wanted to have a death cross, but you know, like I always say, don't play a signal until we get the signal. That's where people get wrecked. And even though this looked like it was going to happen, it was narrowly avoided. I've seen this a few times. You know, it doesn't take me by surprise. This is why we always have to wait to see what the situation is. And even if we did get a death cross, it doesn't necessarily mean we're going to have massive continuation. It's just not a place that you'd want to be stacking up any longs or shorts until it decides which way it's going to go. So look, everyone got wrecked. The bulls got wrecked, the bears got wrecked, all in wicks to themselves, and now it would appear that we've gone back into an uptrend, at least just on this small term, 4-hourly time frame. Broke out from the 200 exponential. This is where we have to stay above in order to avoid that death cross. Retest again, and whether we go into an uptrend now or we come back down for a further retest, the death cross has been avoided. Crossing back over to the 0 point here on the MACD, which is nice, creeping up very nicely with the higher highs and higher lows on the both RSI and money flow index on the 4-hourly. So that all looks quite good. It does make me think that this probably is going to have a push up to the previous. If we go to a daily, we can see it, I suppose, a bit better. But the accumulation zone top, which is about between 48 to 50,000, so around that zone is where I think we're likely to be pushed up to. But even when we get up to there, depending on the reaction we get, which is probably a resistance, it's technically still a downtrend in the short term. What we really need to do is to start to really push up properly. Now the MACD has been in this what would look to me like a redistribution kind of form, but we'll give it a few more days, maybe towards the end of the week, maybe the beginning of next week, and if we don't show signs and cracks of weakness, it might be that next week or shortly after would be the week of the major breakout. But for the moment, every day that we're still in the accumulation zone is vulnerable to further downtrend. Like, this entire area is always deemed to be the most choppy because it's accumulation. Accumulation doesn't really give you the best opportunity to catch longs or shorts. When we break out of accumulation, long all the way. Break down from accumulation, short all the way. But within it, choppy range, and it's for those people who are, I suppose, on the ball traders stuck to their computers, and fair play to you. That's a fair old opportunity to have if you have that kind of time, I suppose. Right, let's go to STMX. So STMX on the daily, not really giving much back. We are back within the resistance box and in the lower portion of the Bollinger Band. So technically, in that side of things, it doesn't look particularly good. Very steep MACD, also tailing off on the RSI and the money flow index. So none of that looks particularly interesting on the daily, maybe a little worrisome in a way. But if we go to the 4-hourly, it gives us an opportunity, I suppose, to think about, is this maybe a well-deserved, long-awaited retest of a 200 exponential before we actually start to power back above? Look, if we buy here, and like I say, I'm not a financial advisor, this is not financial advice, but if we were to buy here, we'd be buying at support, but within a resistance. So there's pros and cons to that. Obviously, breaking out of resistances, especially with something like STMX, could offer a huge upside, but breaking down from support obviously could bring quite a lot of downside. Me personally, I'm quite in favour of STMX, and I believe that this coin's going to have another large push, break above this eventually. This area of resistance where our last sell orders were. Now, I'm not here to say what I'm buying or what I'm not buying, but I do own some STMX, and I'm backing it for the next big push. In my opinion, I think there will be another big push, and it will break above this zone. We'll probably be talking around this zone, 140 sats for the next big push. Again, this is pumpy and dumpy. It's all over the place. So 140 sats. I probably would put myself a sell order at 139 sats, just to front run ever so slightly. And it's just a matter of me earning as much Bitcoin as I can during this choppy period for coins, especially like this. If we look back down here, we can see that we are turning up ever so slightly on the MACD. Nothing massive, nothing major, but I think that based on the 4-hourly positioning, I favour the support more than the resistance. I think the support is likely to be stronger than the resistance. Either way, there's not a great deal to it. They're more or less at the same place. Support being at 70 sats, resistance more basically 72 to 74 sats. But in the very short term, I'm not really expecting a great deal from it. In the medium term, I am expecting that 139 sat order to get filled, but I might be holding on to it longer than I expect, but it does look quite good. Now, if we bring our attention over to the Bitcoin dominance chart, this is where things get a little bit more interesting. This on the weekly is a bearish chart. You can see that we get rejected on the from all the way back down here when alt season started to really pick up pace. Rejections from the center of the Bollinger Band since then, it's basically been very steep. We've not come close to it. We had a retest of it here when we were in what would appear to be an uptrend, rejected from the center of the Bollinger Band here and again there. It would stand to reason that this chart will remain bearish until proven otherwise, and the proof otherwise would be a breakout of the centre of the Bollinger Band. That's coming in at a very strong level of what used to be support is now resistance, I'd imagine, about 44.5% dominant. Yeah, so obviously reaching up to there would be better for Bitcoin, obviously, than altcoins. But a rejection from there, given the amount of money that's flowing into the market, and if a rotation was to take place from Bitcoin into altcoins, even just a rejection from 44.5 back down to where we are back down here, which is a very significant area of support based upon the last time we came down here, all the way here, and then the dump that took place and the bounce from here. Then just that small move from 44.5 back down to 40 would be significant for alts. And if we were to break down, as the chart is still bearish, we have to bear in mind that it is a bearish chart. We could break down from this level of support back down to our next level, which is about 36, between 36.5 and 37% dominant. These are very small percentages, but they're very large for market caps. The amount of money that's in crypto now is way bigger than it was anywhere along these lines. In fact, just from here to here, it's more than doubled in its market cap. In fact, from about here to here, it's doubled in its market cap, or at least $1 trillion came in from here to here. So this isn't really this is a way to interpret the what side of the market you want to be on, whether it's alts or Bitcoin, or obviously you want to be in both most of the time anyway, but how to position your portfolio. But just because we go down all the way from here to here, or we go down from here to here, there is a very strong chance that a breakdown from here to here would offer bigger moves in alts than there would have been from here to, let's just say, here, or here to maybe even down here. It's because of the amount of money, and if it rotates out of Bitcoin, even in the short term, and into some of these smaller cap alts, you're going to see some very large moves. Now, because we're getting closer and closer to a multi-year, in fact the lowest areas of support, I do expect to see a bounce and a full rotation from altcoins into Bitcoin at some point quite soon, based upon this chart. But for the moment, it is a bearish chart. We're getting clear rejections from the center of the Bollinger Band. That is quite steep. It's coming in at 44.5 at the moment, which is a pretty strong area of resistance. As it used to be support, would now be resistance. So I think that alts are still going to get carried, whether from new money or a rotation out of Bitcoin into altcoins when we reach, or if we even reach, this level of 44.5 in the short term. Either way, I don't really see a problem with the market. The market looks relatively good for me in general. Obviously, it's dictated largely by Bitcoin's health. But even if Bitcoin were to range still, continue to range, so long as we stay above 41,000, we could range between 41 and 50, and altcoins are going to do very well, I reckon. Obviously they're not all created equal, but some of them are going to do pretty well. Some of them obviously won't do well at all. But no altcoin is created equal. That's why we view their charts individually. But on a whole, the market does look okay, despite Bitcoin playing this game of ranging between bulls and bears and being in such a choppy environment. I'm still okay with it all. Anyway, we've got a live stream tonight. We will talk about more altcoins during that live stream. If you want to be part of the Patreon, so get access to the live stream, there's a link in the description below. Otherwise, just join the Telegram chat. That's in the link as well, and that's free. And I'll see you all around. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.